Blessed love, family. Thanks for your presence. So yes, family, give thanks and praises, blessed love to each and everyone. Give thanks for your presence with us. Of course, you're definitely with us in the Tiger's Nest. Honorable Priest Isaac here with you. Just freshly coming off of Patreon's Day. What a joy. Give thanks to the celebration of the coronation of Emperor Haile Selassie I continuing. And of course, the coronation of Menelik II, the joy is still being kept. Oh, give thanks to all of our international listeners, viewers, wherever you are. Giving you a moment to come in. We're going to have a wonderful session this evening. In a few moments, we will be joined by the master numerologist himself. I'm talking about Brother King Simon. And many of you would be definitely, you would know of King Simon and know of his works and his counseling and advice to those who may need help. And what he does, he takes your birthday. Well, basically, I think it's your birth date. I don't even think the brother needs your year. And then he goes and does what he has to do with it. So we're going to have a wonderful program, as you could see, those of you who are just coming in. This one is entitled King Simon Meets Priest Isaac, or King Simon and Priest Isaac. Yeah, numerology meet astronomy. So of course, as you would have seen, we already have our chart up. This is our chart, the heavens. The heavens declare the glory. So as we go through the evening, you will be asked to put your date up on the chat board for those of you who are in the chat. And the good brother would explain to you, depending on when you were born, time, and I think it's the month and the date is what he will deal with. But I will see when he comes in, and then we will see exactly what he gets from that. And while he's doing that, I might just take a look at what was taking place in the heavens when you were born, or at least on that day. Because you see now, that's the mystic with the science of the astronomy. Because, although the sun may be in a very similar position at the same time every year, basically the same position, because it takes a long time for the sun to even appear as if it's moving out of the position. Not going to go too deep into that now. But what I'm saying, the moon and the planets, they do not have the same position at the same date every year. So it is always good to know exactly when you were born, even down to the time. To me, it's quite important, because where the moon is at 6 a.m. is not where the moon is at 6 p.m. But again, we're going to be looking at it from the numerological aspect of it. And Brother King Simon will be coming in a few moments. So again, let me give thanks again to all those who were with us on Patreon's Day. And of course, we have some reports here that I want to give to you. I of course, we definitely had our wonderful telethon. Let me just say, give thanks to all those who were with us. I mean, what a beautiful day that was. We give thanks for the uprising, the Honorable Kes Westmore. Give thanks to the Honorable Ras Wade. Black King Sound was in the motion. Give thanks to the Honorable France de Freitas. It was a beautiful day. The Honorable Empress Ethiopia as well. Honorable Priest Dougie. We had a wonderful reading on Baba Shanti Rastafari. Africa in general going forward. Of course, the young ones, the Honorable Prince Alamasi and the Honorable Princess Takesha Menin, for sure would have definitely, brought forth a mighty vibration as it relates to Youth University. What a joy that was. And of course, Ankoma Dread as well was in the house, so it was just a full blast. And of course, enough respect to brother Dr. Kemet Shockley. For whatever the reason was, I know for sure he made that strong attempt to reach out, but certain things did not fall into place and it just didn't work out at the moment. But we're very thankful. It's a brother that, is not no stranger to the tiger's nest, and of course, the door is definitely always open to him whenever the case is. So as I said, we had a wonderful expression on that day. As you know, for those of you who were with us, and those of you who were not even with us, you also know, we had a budget. The telethon aspect of the day, we had a budget of $12,000. That was the budget. That was our target, pardon me, the target, not the budget. That's the target. But the target is the budget for the upcoming essay competition. That, of course, is in African, that's in February, which is African History Month. And before I give you, because I did promise that at the end of the day, we will, give you an idea of exactly what was achieved on that day as it relates to the target that we had set. So again, without taking too long, I don't want to go too much into details with this. I might give you a proper, what you would call a proper review of Patrons Day some other time. But for now, I don't want to go too far. So let me just give you the figures, so and then we can move on with the program. So again, for those who, just in case you may not know, the telethon, the target of the telethon was $12,000, and that is the budget for our annual essay competition, this being the 10th year, pardon me. And of course, that's our African History Month essay competition. And of course, in our explanation, we would have detailed the necessity and the importance of this activity. Hence, the telethon, budget, and target. Very good. So, we had pledges and we had literal contributions. So I have my figures here. Let me just see where my figures are. All right. So we had, let me just be clear here, don't worry. So what we had here now in contributions, my figures have left me here. All right. Let me see the figures we have here on the screen, Honorable. I see we have 700. This is a total now. This is the actual contributions, family. So we have 774 United States dollars contribution. That's the literal contribution, and the pledges would be 357. So you have 774, that's the actual what was received, and 357, and that is actually the pledges. And at a later date, I will give you the names of those who would have contributed that. So if I just do a quick addition there, we have the addition, but I can just do it in my head now. So 7 and 4 is what now? 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's count on my hand there. So we have 1. Don't laugh at me, please. 1, and then 7 and 5 is 12. Plus 1 is 13. That's 3. 7, 8, 9, and 1. That's 10. So that's 1,030. $31, something of the sort. I think I'm correct. $1,031. Somebody can double check that for me. But I think that is exactly. So basically, and remember that is the figure, but that is divided into the pledges, and the pledges have not been received as yet. That's 357 in pledges, and the actual what we received was 774. So basically, that is, you could say, 1/12 of our target. So we did not achieve the target. Before I even say anything else, let me be thankful for all of those who put forth their hands and put forth their hearts to the initiative at hand. So we are still aiming at that target. Whether the Patreon's Day is done, not, the Telethon is past and gone, that's okay. As you know, we actually do that every year, and we go even into the business communities and different avenues to make sure this essay competition is a success. So let me say, give thanks, enough love to all those who partook of the telethon. Wonderful. So as I said, at another time when we are more in a more different space, we will speak about that. But this evening, family, we're looking forward to Brother King Simon. I'm just going to hold a little meds. He should be joining me momentarily. So just get your birthday, in order. I don't think you have to worry about the time. Well, you should get the time too, because I might want to know the time so I can see how what the brother is saying aligns with what's going on in the heavens. Hey, this is a program you need to tell a friend. Eh? I think you need to reach out to someone and let them know that you need to listen to this one here tonight if you want to know about yourself and, your vibration and your energy and what you're all about. Talking about numerology meets ancient, I would add, astronomy. King Simon. All right, King Simon. Looking forward to you in a moment. We continue to hold the meds until he comes in. Yes, family, share the link, and press them thumbs up buttons there. Don't know how the thing go. Rastafari live. I tell you. Chalice. For the life giver and the keeper of life, blessed love once again to each and every one. Of course, give thanks for your coming in. Actually, we will be joined by the good brother King Simon a little later in the program. A few changes had to be made, but he is right on time and he's correct. We just had to do a bit of adjustment. But as I said now, the reason it is going to be, well, basically, you know, we are opening the doors to the brother, and it really will become his space to some degree, and he will be expounding on his art of numerology. Well, as I said, we had to make just a little adjustment, and maybe I would have expected to be sitting with him already, you know, so I would have wanted to save a few things for him being right here. But anyway, still we go straight into it. What I want to do as well, I want to just show you a few things astronomically as well. I will begin on that level before he comes in as it relates to dates and times, etc. Now, one of the things that I look at, so for example, today is the 6th of November then. Okay, let's pick a more complex date. Let's just say the 12th of November. Let's say the 12th of November or the 13th, 14th. Let's say the 14th of November. Okay, so an individual is born on the 14th of November. Now, one would tell you 1 plus 4 equals 5. And November might be the 11th month. Yes, that's what it is. It's the 11th month. And then so the number 11, and then the 11 now is 1, and 1 is 2. So all of this, and this is not just the good brother that we have on stage here. I'm not, it's just in general. When I hear the numerological expressions from the numerologists, there's a lot of adding and, putting numbers together. Okay. So now as a scientist, as a mystic, and even dealing with astronomy, and as a thinker, I definitely analyze things maybe a bit differently. So the 14th day of the beginning of some cycle, whether it's a month or a period of time, but the 14th day, understanding numbers, understanding that it begins with 0 as well. This is deep. So from you hit double digits, you don't have to see it on paper. It's reality. From you have 9 cycles, you will go into a 10th cycle. It doesn't have to be on paper. It doesn't have to be written in numbers the way we know numbers. That doesn't even have to exist. But in reality, you have gone into double cycles. So when you say 1 plus 4 equals 5, like the 14th day of a cycle, I personally, I'm speaking for me, can find some comfort in that science for the moment there. The 1 plus 4, 5, because it's the 14th day of a cycle, and the reality of 14, 21, 28, the reality of numbers, 72. It's real, whether you draw 7 like how you draw the 7 and the 2, how we draw the 2. All of that is deep too, But even if that didn't exist, that doesn't destroy the reality of 72. Whether you call it 72 or not, there's a sequence in science that is 72 counts. 1, 2, 3, 72. Even if you didn't say 1, 2, and 3, you say you'll do it 72 times for the count. And you find it all over nature. You know that. You know for sure 72 is all over nature. 7, 9, 13. So numbers exist, reality. And single and double digits, just it's maths, it's real. So I'm not running away from that. Good. Now, November. So the 14th day of November. Now, honestly, that's where I go a little bit on a different level now. Because remember, November, number 1, Nov means 9. But November is the 11th month. So how did that happen? Then you have to go into the reality of what kind of calendar we're playing with here. And January is the first month and the first day of January. So now, and I would question that, and I will even put that to the brother. So now the reality of how the numbers are used, is it because, well, this is the system that we are under, so the numbers just take onto itself it's life, because November just happened to be the 11th month in the Julian calendar, where it's some other system in another calendar from some ancient time. For example, the Ethiopian calendar, the year starts on 11th of September. So let's assume you were born on the 11th of September then. So that's 11. 1 and 1 is 2. And then September would be which month now? That's the 9th month, but means 7, because it was once the 7th month. It was once the 7th month, but they changed it around. So now it's the 9th month. So September the 11th is 9/11. Good. 9 and the 1 and the 2. And however you work what 9 means and 2 means. Good. But if you were in Ethiopia now and you were born the 11th of September, you're born on the first day of the first month. Does it change? Is that equivalent to a person born on the first day of January? Because the science, is that the day you're born and the month. You will see when the brother comes in. The day you're born and the month. As I said, I stand corrected, but I don't think the brethren check for even your year. Your year not important. Nor the time. Morning, noon, or night. So I'm just asking these questions. I'm not being controversial at all. I ain't playing nobody's advocate. I'm just asking as a scientist who looks into these things, who actually check for these things. I actually check for that. But I just want to understand how it works in this sequence of time that we are. And I will repeat, you're born the 11th of September. So you're born in Ethiopia, the 11th of September, and you're here in the West, and you say, hey, I was born the 11th of September. And that man say, hey, well, that means 11th September. September is the 9th month. But where you were born the first day of the first month. You were born on New Year's Day. So is your reading equivalent to the Western New Year's Day or how it really works? You know? So I hope I'm not going too deep. Because some people say, oh, priest is spoiling the fun, man. Let's just hear the man read the numbers and I want to know what he said when I born. Yeah, we'll do that. In fact, that's basically what we're going to do because his time will be limited with us as well. But maybe I was just supposed to put that out on the table before he came in. So anyway, as I said now, okay, for example, what you're looking at here, this is the sky chart for now basically now we are utilizing stellarium. So you see when you touch the hourglass, see nothing changes because it's now. So whatever date and time it is, it's now. In fact, let me put it more to the location where I am. This is somewhere up here in Germany. Let me bring it more down here, closer to home in the Heliopolis of the West. Okay, good. Now, if you well closer to home in Heliopolis in the East. All right, very good. So what I'm going to show you here is what the heavens is saying right now. So let's just say someone was born or someone is being born now. The person that is being born right now at this moment. And in the astronomical world, it's the person that is being born now is still different than the person that is being born, that was born this morning. You see, this is why I say to an individual, for example, when we check our horoscope for, I don't have everything off my head, but the 20, okay, Gemini, let me pick something that I know for sure. Okay, Capricorn. Capricorn begins, I think it's the 21st day of December to the 20th of January, something thereabouts. And then after Capricorn, it would be Aquarius. That begins the 21st of January and goes until February. I want you to listen to me, good family, please. And please concentrate on what we're saying. I know sometimes we get distracted and a lot of talk, and so that's how the system is set up, so we can chat while the teacher is teaching. I don't know what kind of thing is that. Almost like disrespect. Imagine teacher teaching and you chatting. Imagine that. That's how this system is set up. We can stop the chat too, but we just free it up. But just meditate. It's something to think about. Teacher teaching and we chatting. I mean, we're not really listening. But anyway, give thanks. I mean, those who, yeah, they would definitely listen. But I'm just showing you now, within the heavens, we're looking at the heavens and understanding how it works and the mystic thereof and the planets and everything. So I'm showing you that according to your horoscope, let's say you were born the 19th of January or the 20th of January, you are a Capricorn, right? If you were born the 21st of January, you are an Aquarius. Now, how that work? Watch this good. If you're a twin, listen to me good, eh? If you are a twin and one of you come out No laugh, it's serious. If you are a twin and one of you come out 11:57, the night of the 20th of January, you are a Capricorn. And if your twin sibling come out 4 minutes after 12, after midnight gone into the 21st, they are an Aquarius. Meditate on that now. Now, the heavens don't work like that. You can't, nothing change like just a clip on, because it's midnight, bang, it gone over to Aquarius. It's impossible. That's not how it goes. It's almost like the sun setting. It's like day turning into night. Yes, there's a moment when the sun sets, but when the sun sets, the light don't just lock off. It's a process. It's a very slow process. Sometimes you're not even aware of it. You're by the lake talking, and say, oh, it's dark already. If it just happened so you would have, hey, what happened? It's the same way with the passing over or the exchange of the constellation, of the ages, even of your zodiac signs. Because you've got to remember, well, number one, we have to even keep in mind that the age we're in right now, the zodiac horrible scope that they give us is about 6 or 7 days off. That's for sure. Take it from me. The Astro Misguide that many of us thrive on, it's at least 6 or 7 days off of what it is. So people would think, especially those who dwell on the edge of the age or the edge of the horoscope sign, they could be in the other side because the heavens is alive. You have to keep all of that in mind. The heavens is not a dormant thing that just sticks there. It's not the Mona Lisa. It's a living thing. It's alive, and we are a part of the heavens. So when you're talking about the sun moving 1 degree every 72 years, several 72 years have passed since the horoscope has been put into motion. So that means it's like a clock. It would have changed a bit over time. So when you're thinking that, bam, the 21st day of December or the 22nd, whichever one it is, Capricorn begins. Yeah. No, it might be a little bit off of how you think. It may go more deep into the month of January. More than likely it would, because it is changing. Remember, you're going into the age of Aquarius. So if you are already in Aquarius, all of them horoscope totally off, totally. But of course, I'm of the opinion that we are basically 65% still in the age of Pisces and 35% into the age of Aquarius. And we come to this conclusion by astronomical studies. We observe the astronomical clock to come to that decision there. Not a guess, not because somebody else said that and all of that. You just observe where the sun is on the 21st day of March. A very simple thing, really. And of course, we've done a few programs highlighting that. So let me just take you forward here again. All right. So a day like today, or time like now. And it is, let me put some characters here for those who may want to have an idea of what they're looking at. Of course, these characters, all of this is like training wheels. Even the lines are like training wheels, really. Let's take the characters out. So you see the lines. This is Capricorn. If we take the lines out, all you see is stars. But I can still pick up the Capricorn here. But let us all work together. So basically, a little baby is born right now. When this baby is born, interesting, a nice observation here. The moon is in the center of the V-shaped Pisces. Interesting. Yes. And Jupiter is in the same. So Jupiter is in Pisces, it's still in the Pisces energy. taking a bit of Aquarius, but Jupiter and the moon are sharing Pisces. And then I'm not giving no interpretation thereof. I will, maybe not yet. And then Saturn is not only in Capricorn, but it's in the horn, the literal horn of Capricorn. Because if you notice this artwork here, the horn is in the behind parts of Capricorn. This is just a drawing that to illustrate how it's how they think it looks. But this is really what it is. This is the head of Capricorn, which is not a goat, by the way. It's a unicorn. That's why it has one long horn. And these are the legs, etc., etc. So anyway, still the point is that you see Saturn on the horn of Capricorn. Okay, good. Then now we're going through the zodiac belt. Remember, the zodiac belt is the same horoscope constellations or signs. Most of you know your horoscope signs. I know that for sure. Oh, I'm a Libra, I'm a this and that. Good. These are constellations in the heavens. And these are basically the 12 recognized constellations that the sun passes through. And so does the moon and all the planets that you can observe. It's a deep science by itself. Okay, so person that is being born right now, the sun is just coming out of Virgo and is already entering into Libra. So you would say that they are really feeding strongly off of the constellation of Libra, no matter what sign they may be, you know, they are definitely feeding off of Libra. The sun is in Libra right now. Mercury is with the sun, so it's Mercury, the sun, and Venus, and the three of them are in Libra. And that's an interesting expression there, because that's a trinity. Of course, we all know Mercury is the baby of the planets, you know, the closest right under daddy, which is the sun. And Venus represents the woman. Venus is basically always with the sun, sometimes a bit in front, sometimes a bit behind. That's why Venus is the morning star and the evening star. So if a person is born today, like right now, it's a high vibes to see the father, the mother, and the son. They're right here. And the three of them are in the scale of justice, you know, the scale of Ma'at there. So that's an interesting feature there. That's how you read the heavens. Nothing spooky about that. And it's not astrology. It is ancient astronomy. You better believe it. It's real. Look, it's right here. It's real. And yes, we're only using this app here so that those who, you know, this is something we know, we observe, look at the heavens and see it. Oh, this is serious. Mars is not only in Aries, Mars is in the horns of the bull. So the persons born during this time, they have to consider where Mars is and where Saturn is, and even where Uranus is. These three planets are situated in not only the animals with the horns, because these are charging animals, you know, put you down. War. Aries is a god of war, the ram, and Uranus is in Aries for a while now. So youth born in this time, Uranus has been in Aries for a while, several, maybe, I don't want to hazard a guess, you know, but it's like a good bit of time, 3-4 years, Uranus would have been, I just hazard a guess there. Uranus would have been inside of Aries, the ram, which is a symbol of war. Mars too. Mars, at times, Mars is in Aries. That's double war, you know. People born on that, real warriors. That's how you look at it. Mars now is in Taurus, the charging bull, and it's in the horn of the bull. And as I showed you earlier, that Capricorn, which is the unicorn, Saturn is in the horn, or literally on the horn of the unicorn. What this is doing me here? Where is it? Where is it? Saturn is actually on the horn of the unicorn. So if you're born at this time, horn, unicorn, born, this is something interesting to look at. And this is what so-called astrology is all about. And as you know, we have done several episodes showing you that the regular astrological um, readings are usually off, especially when it comes to where the moon is. Where the moon is, this full moon and new moon. Full moon and new moon. They're always saying it's in this constellation, but it's usually in a constellation a few degrees before. And that is because they're not using astronomy as their base, but they're using old medieval sky maps and charts as their base. And that's just reality. I'm not saying that to disrespect or let anyone feel bad. So you get a good understanding of what I'm saying. So this is really how it would look on a person that would have been, or for a person that would have been born on a day like today. The heavens declare the glory. And this ain't got nothing to do with if the earth flat or not, because I know they have some ones that will be quick to say, oh, the earth is flat. I don't even know what you're talking about. I guess I guess you just had to say something. But whether the earth flat or not, we all see the same thing. You know, whether you think the sun moving or moving not, we all see where the sun is at a specific time of the year, and it's all science. The science and the mathematics is still the same. Flat, not, and all this other stuff that people does be putting up. All right. Good brother should be joining us in a moment. I wonder if I should take a look and see what's going on in the chat. Let me see what's going on in the chat here. Anything in the chat? Let's see. Okay. Hey, give thanks, Honorable Princess Sekhmet. Give thanks to the blessings. Anton is in the house. Give thanks as well. Ian Rose, the full house. Rothschilds, give thanks, my Lord, for the full blessings and love that you sent forth as well to the royal congregation. We appreciate love that. Samuel Richards is here. And of course, Adam Swift, give thanks as well, Honorable. I know I would have seen you bless the congregation as well. You know, also give thanks. Johnny Johnson is also here with us. Blessings to Johnny Johnson and Sister Yafaya Israel. Shalom to you as well. And give thanks to Prince Almasi and Princess Akesha Menen. All joy, happiness, and we have virtuous valuables. Okay, greeting to one and all in all joy and happiness. Okay, so as I said, in a few moments for sure, the good Honorable King Simon will be coming in. That would be at 7 sharp. I'm sure he would be kicking down the door and ripping up the floor and give you some more and take you on a numerological tour in righteousness of salvation. So what else can I put on the heavens for you now? I don't want to start to go too deep into certain things as I see his time is coming, but I think what I would have done there is give you a basic idea of how we relate the heavens to when a person is born. So it's nothing hard, you know. It's just a simple thing. Each planet basically has its nature. I'm not saying there are layers to it too. It's not just Mars is a war planet and the story done. There are different layers. The planets have to do with your different organs. Planets obviously relate to different plants and flowers, and so are directly connected to certain planets. And certain animals react differently with certain planets when they're in certain constellations. This is true science. No, a person is, oh, I don't believe in all of this. Now, when the moon is full, the water rises. No, that's just simple. When the moon is full, the water rises. That's just as simple as it is. When Mars is in retrograde, something else happening that you can't even explain. But when the moon full, the water rise. So when Mars is in retrograde, when Jupiter take over Saturn, when Uranus is in Aries, something is taking place. Flowers with purple petals have different reaction when in the different time of the year because a different planet is somewhere else. It's nature. That's how it's made up. Nothing spooky. It surely ain't religious. It's just reality. So don't be afraid or run away from the truth that the planets connect to you. Your ear, your lungs, your heart, your stomach, large and small intestines, and spleen and spine. Yeah, man. Time of day, all of that is very, very, very important. So again, a simple thing like Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, you just understand what the planets mean. And I will tell you, understanding them in the Greek and Roman aspect would help you. You may say, what you talking about? Okay, for example, let's use Venus then. Now, Venus is a planet. What makes Venus a woman and Mars a man? What kind of thing is that? What makes a planet a woman and a next planet a man? None of them is no woman and none of them is no man. You understand? In fact, most things that house things are called she. Like a plane would be a she, a car is a she, and they usually refer to as a she. A planet would be a she. But in the mythological sense, you comprehend, there's an energy that these planets have. Okay. When the Greeks and the Romans says that Mars was the god of war, where do you think they get that from? You think they just make that up out their head? No, they got that from somewhere. Somebody taught them that. They may not have called it Mars. They may not have called it Saturn. They may not have called it Jupiter. They may have said Ansha or Kisha, which is Saturn and Jupiter in the Sumerian tongue or some other language. But they taught the Greeks the energy of the planet. They taught the Greeks which plants and which minerals react to the same planet when it's out at night, outside of when it's out at day, because the stars and planets are out in the day too. You just don't see them. Somebody taught them that, and they went and put that into mythological form. So when you hear them say Mars is the god of war and Venus the god of love and all of that, it's not something they made up out of the blue. It's almost like Christianity and the stories within them and all of that stuff. It's not something they make out of the blue. It may be a fable, but they got it from somewhere else to create the fable that they have. So I'm saying that's a good place to begin. Jupiter is the king or the god of the gods. Jupiter is the king of the planets, and reality it is, not because it's the biggest planet, but even when you study its electromagnetic field, if you study how it attracts all those comets to its surface, which protects Earth and the other planets, pardon me, from a lot of collision again. So that's how you put so-called mythology into science and even into reality. So the reality is whatever energy Mars would carry, it carries it just like the moon carries an energy. The moon, again, not only just rises the water. Look at the movie, the werewolf movie. When the moon come out, the werewolf start to grow here and fang face and all of that. Anybody remember fang face? Oh, you'd have to be really to remember Fang Face. That was a cartoon from ever so long time ago. Yeah, Fang Face. And Fang Face will work with the moon, but that's reality. Not no disrespect to nobody. You don't have to be offended or feel no way if, something like that would have occurred within you, your family, or whatever. But it's the moon, and it's not nothing. All of us react with the moon. You know? All of us react with the moon. Ain't nothing strange. Every single person. So all of us react with Mars. All of us react with Uranus. All of us react with Venus. All of us react with Jupiter. When it rises, when it sets, when it's with the sun, when it's at midnight, it does something to us. We just don't know. Or at least many of us not even aware of it. Let's put it that way. So don't take the science for a joke. It's a reality. It's agency. That's why I refer to it as ancient astronomy and not necessarily astrology. And the good brother is with us. I see he's here. I'm talking about the good brother King Simon. Oh,
Wagwan.
what a pleasure, my brother, to have you
Wagwan,
in
sir.
the
Yes,
house.
sir. Wagwan, Wagwan.
Yeah, man,
Blessing,
everything
blessing,
bless,
blessing,
my Lord.
blessing, blessing, blessing all the time, all the while. Yeah, man.
Give
Everything good.
thanks, man. What a joy.
Prince
Yes,
Isaac.
family. King Simon, as I said, he is number one, a promoter extraordinaire. You know, I know he would have worked alongside the likes of, I think, Barrington Levy and Buja Banton and Shabba
Yes,
Ranks and some other ones.
yes,
So we
yes,
give thanks, and not just promoter in that arena, but he would have also done a lot of works with a lot of the masters, a lot of the teachers. Our good brother James Small, Dr. Jeffries, and I know he would have held several conferences and seminars. So he's a brother that has really been working for years on the
yeah.
front line, entertainment and education. So as KRS One said, edutainment,
Edutainment.
edutainment. And but I know again, I know your time is limited, brother. But
Yeah, yeah,
tonight we have brought you in on the level of a numerologist, you know.
yes.
And basically, I
Okay.
was just going into some astronomy there as
Yes,
it relates to, you know, the birth and of
yeah,
individuals. But as I said, it's your moment there. Let me just
yes,
bring you up a little more on the front line. Oh, yes, good to see you, my brother. Blessed love.
yes.
Give
Blessed.
thanks. Tell me what's going on with you, you know, before you go too deep, because I know the family has been
Yeah.
looking forward to your presence.
Well, bless up to the family. Thank you very much, Honorable Prince Isaac, for allowing me to be on the platform.
Sure, man.
The Caribbean community is dear to my heart because that's
I
where I'm
know that.
from. My family, Jamaica and Cuban, Afro Jamaican Cuban. So I like to say it like that.
Sure,
And
man.
yesterday I just lost one of my cousins from Cuba, and it was just he was somebody who that had saved my life when I was younger. I fell out of a window at 2 years old, and he caught me. So
Wow, wow, wow.
he just
I
passed
feel
on.
that.
He was a gentle giant. His father was from Cuba. His mother his mother and father was Cuba. His mother was from Jamaica, and his father was from Cuba. But we just lost him due to bad pancreatic cancer. Those cancers again, and health. And what's so interesting in the numbers, he was in a health cycle because I like to keep things very simple. I
Please.
don't get too deep because if a 5-year-old to an 85-year-old can't understand it, makes no sense to me. So I keep it, and because the children are the new shining lights, and if you want to usher them into our greatness and learning and studying, you have to feed them the holistic baby food and then let them grow up and become their greatest. That's why I've studied the numbers, the astrology, and all that, but I try to keep it. I'm a
Simple.
numerovator, and I want to make it sure people clear. I use numerology and motivation to help you to use the numbers that you are most acquainted with and what you've been born under and the names that you use to help you to activate the numbers and help you maximize where you got to go so you can be better in your Rasta community or better in the Christian community or better in the Hebrew community. Because once you know who you are mathematically, then you can move mathematically and strategically and understand the dualities of the numbers and how to use them. So just like Ethiopia might have a different year where the Ethiopian New Year starts around September 11th and all them, and then you got the Asiatic calendar that has 150,000 years due to
Right.
the 25%. Any number you throw at me, I keep it simple and deal with that number. I don't have to deal with the procession. I don't have to deal with that. That's the debate. If you want to go that deep with people, I tell people, if you want to go that deep, I'm just here to encourage you to be a solution in your community, not a problem. Because there's a whole, as you and I know, there's a lot of debates going on over a lot of things, religion and all that, but and you know, that has separated us. You know, that separated us a lot.
Yes, sir.
You know, to this
Yes, sir.
day, some of us can't even let a Jehovah Witness go on without cussing them out. I mean, you know, some of us can't even go and meet with a Christian brother and sister, and because he's Methodist or he's this and he's that, that we're separating ourselves. You know, me, I've taken everything that I've learned and took what I needed, put the other stuff to the side, and made myself a better person. So that's why I've been able to work in the community, especially in of course the Rasta community, working with Dennis Brown, Gregory Isaacs. I've worked with all the major ones back in the day, the Nacio Fontaine, and I've worked with all of these guys, you know, and Bob Marley's children and everybody. So just seeing, I just want to really see, you know, because I'm under the sign misnomered Aquarius. Misnomered Aquarius, because we know Aquarius is not the original name. You know, some people say it's happy and some people say it's this, but that's the humanitarian energy that I'm under to bring people to understand that that, like Spock said in Star Trek, he said the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one. So I'm more here to guide and try to make people get better with numerovation. I use numerovation because it's about using the discipline of numerology and motivation and putting them together, because you would agree that most of our people need motivating, if not all of our people need motivating. Sometimes you have to motivate your own children. I have 9 children and 12 grandchildren. Sometimes you have to motivate them, and I use their frequencies and show them where their journey can take place. Whether positive or negative is totally up to you. At the end of the day, it's not my job. You know, but it's good that I see you have astronomy and all that. And astronomy is a whole different science, man. That's a whole powerful science. And, you know, one time they said, according to a scholar that I know named Samuel F. Reynolds, I might have to give you his number to connect, astrologer. He showed and proved where astrology and astronomy was one and the same before they separated.
For sure.
You understand? So, you know, because if we have all the elements inside of us, and there's an element as same as the elements in the universe, we got to know that connection one day. Even Neil deGrasse Tyson said it just recently on one of his shows. I mean, so, you know, we gotta. I just like to keep. I like to keep things simple, priest. I like to keep things simple.
Yeah, man. Give thanks, man. That's
Give
a
thanks.
strength. But let me ask. I know usually when it comes to that, you know, and to the family again,
Yeah.
before the Honorable King Simon leaves, of course, he's going to give you his full contact, because you know, the hour we may be spending together, that's just for, you know, a little joy amongst ourselves. But
yes, sir.
at the same time, you can sit with him for consultations, one-on-one. You know, he gives, I think, daily readings and all of that. So this is something, yeah, you definitely, but you'll definitely leave your contact. Oh, you want to just say it quick before we even go on?
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Well,
people come in and come out.
Yeah, people can go to my IG if they want at king.simon.productions. King Simon Productions. You Google that, you'll see my picture up there. And you could actually go straight to my link tree /King Simon, the Numerovator. That's Linktree /King Simon, the Numerovator. And then you could text me if you do want to book a session, because I have clients all over the world that, you know, want to be motivated and at least, you know, want some type of guidance, you know. And that's what, you know, it's just like I tell them, like your numbers are like the book of numbers. You know, we try to give you order. God give order in the book of numbers, and it's the first census and named and numbered all the tribes and all that. You know, you understand your book of numbers and how it can help you, just like a GPS, take you to where you got to go, and you go. And don't look back. Don't second guess, because, you know, according to their science, Honorable Priest, there's only 2 fears according to their science. And they study this stuff because they have to prepare for war and all kinds of. According to their science, the only 2 known fears is the fear of falling and the fear of a loud sound. So anything else, you've taken it upon yourself, this fear, whether it's your family and all that, because that's why in the military, which my father, it's interesting because even my father that was in the military, when he came from Jamaica, he jumped into the Marines, and he, you know, and the first thing they're going to show you is how to jump out of planes, overcoming fear of falling, and then do the simulated bomb dropping and gun shots to overcome, so they can make a better soldier. So that's they study sociology, they study psychology, and they know, just like Shaggy, him and I went to Erasmus together. And Shaggy was with Erasmus Hall. If those who don't know, is a high school in Brooklyn, New York. Him and I went to Erasmus together when we was younger. But when he came back, he went to the Marines. And he said, well, yo, when they dropped him in the war that time, I forgot what war was. The people, man, them don't understand war because them start crying. Man was crying because they was just thrown right in as soon as they got in the field. You know what I'm saying? You just trained for like 6 months and then thrown in a foreign land. That's why you had to be trained vigorously with Marines or special forces. You understand? So again, the two known fears, family. Two known fears: fear of falling, fear of a loud sound. That's why if you have a baby in the bed and you pop a balloon, the baby go like this. Try it. If you have a baby sleeping inside and all of a sudden, pop, you throw a baby up, they're like, okay, you're gonna catch me? They're gonna make sure you're gonna catch me. They still tighten up, and so you gotta recognize those fears, and we gotta learn to eliminate just those two simple fears. You know, so you know, but it's a beautiful thing, man. Once you're striving to try to help people.
It sounds to me like any other phase what you create, because that same baby, you know, if you bring a lion, I'm sure the baby pull his whiskers out or something.
Yeah, try to play with it. Until that lion roar and go raw, and then it shake it up.
Then the noise like okay.
Say, all right.
Yeah.
Because the lion, when it roar, it wake up the whole jungle. It wakes up the whole. So you have to, you know, that's why that roar is very interesting with language, especially in the Kemetic language with ra and ra. You know, we learn through languages and symbols and patterns and cycles and sequences. So that's what I'm really about with the numbers, you know.
There's no powers. So if I want, for example, I book a consultation with you. I know many ones, I don't know if you want to call it a quick fix, but many ones will be quick to tell you, well, I was born on this day and this time and so and so. But I know you do deal with the numbers. Does it go beyond that, for example, depending on the situation a person may bring to you? So say, okay, tell me something about your mother. When was she born? Your father? When do you go that far? Does it go beyond that? How much you know about your grandmother's day? Does the numbers carry that deep?
Yes, it recognizes the patterns that you attract to yourself. So like my grandmother, there was a situation where I thought about taking my own life years ago, right? And then my father, and that's the last time I ever thought about it, because I never thought about it again. But when my father told me that my great-grandfather did it, I studied his numbers, but I can tell it's in the bloodline if it already was done. Studied his numbers, and in my book, Numerology for Mental Stability, I wrote this for a reason, because there was a lot of things going on that, you know, two of my friends passed on, and then I studied a lot of celebrities and all that stuff that was going through mental health. And I recognized that the number 4, people born on the 4th, the 13th, the 22nd, or the 31st of the month, that was one of the primary numbers in my book that I study in patterns, cycles, and sequences over years, that there was a pattern of mental health or depression. So my grandfather, nobody knows his birthday up to this date. Nobody knows, because everybody that knew his birthday passed on. But we know his name, and his name was Claude, and Claude in numerology adds up to the 22, which is a 4. And then I had a grandmother on my mother's side that she was born July the 7th, which was interesting because 7 is one of the other numbers in mental health. I have 5 numbers that I talked about in this book as far as 4, 7, 8, 5, and 3 are known as the mental health numbers in numerology. Not meaning that you're always going to go down towards the negative. It's just about you finding balance and the need to protect your mind a little bit more than others. Even if it shows up in your birth chart, whether it's the month you're born, the day you're born, the year you're born, or even the amount of these numbers that keep on showing up in your name that you've chosen or the one that was given to you. You have to pay attention. Because like I just said, my grandfather had the 22, which is a 4. In numerology, I think I was catching you on the end when you was talking about feminine and masculine and that kind of stuff. In numerology, the number 2 is a feminine number. It was over a woman. He hanged himself. Just showing the patterns, how this thing worked. And then when I thought about it, it was because of what I was going through with my wife and all that kind of stuff all that kind of stuff. And then
Yes,
my
yes.
grandmother, who was born July 7th, she checked herself into a mental facility back in Jamaica back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Because she was going through a lot of stuff and a lot of ups and downs with her life. So I see through the numbers where you can possibly attract mental health or certain ailments. That's why I even wrote this book called Numbers Are Simple. Children's health is important. It's not just for children, but it's for health. But each number can show you the possible health ailments that you could attract to yourself if you don't pay attention.
And it look for children too.
Yeah, it's good
And
for
look,
children and adults. All of us are children of the Creator. So,
yes, yes,
so
yes.
that's what,
But
yeah.
as we say in the Caribbean, say one, say two. When you okay, a person born under these numbers, then
Yes.
I'd assume you mean any month.
In any month, yes. In any
Okay.
month, right.
Doesn't that also put them in some sort of position? Okay, let me put it this way.
Yes.
You know, they have let me see. Like in this modern time, a lot of children are just surprisingly being born with autism and all sorts of different dysfunctions. But yet still, these children are very efficient
Yes.
in other activities, art
Yes.
and music,
That's
etc.
right. That's
So
right.
a person that in the realms that you're guiding us now, a person that because of the numbers they have could attract a certain energy.
Yes.
Aren't they fortified with a certain strength to resist it when it comes, maybe more than someone else who don't have that problem coming
Yes,
their
because
way?
you're absolutely right, because some of them may learn differently. And
Ah,
because we're under a European system, learning from them, because when women come to me or family members come to me about their child being autistic, I said, you shouldn't really claim that word. Stop
exactly.
claiming those things. Because thoughts are things. And if you keep on saying it over and over, my child is autistic, may have blood pressure, may have this. That's what we used to do in Jamaica. His heart was bad because your father heart did bad. Really? And that's why I love Reverend Ike. Reverend Ike used to say, look, I'm going to run those old sicknesses out of my system because I don't have to believe in those systems and allow myself to go down that road. So autistic children could have been developed probably from either the vaccines people are taking. People are not paying attention. That's not, we could go down that road, but we don't want to go, but we have to be very mindful because I know a certain autistic child that can play the drums like boom, boom, boom. That's how he learned. He used to drum for Dr. Khalid Muhammad when he was young.
Okay.
So I know who this young man is. As a matter of fact, Ya Asantewa, the woman that was in charge of a lot of Khaled's events, her son is the one that went through but when he gets angry, he's as strong as a horse. So you could use that energy and redirect the energy, like you say. You could redirect that energy. But he's a drummer. Yo, priest, if you hear him, you'll say, whoa, you would never know he was autistic. But he's just in his own spirit. And because we are not doing what we did in the ancient societies of learning and learning on the outside and not always inside a square box amongst European teachers and all that. They don't give us the experience out there to go deal with the experience. I dropped out of school in high school because I was bored. I was bored with high school. You know what I'm saying? So, especially if you're being inundated with, the Rasta music and this culture and that. I found out my grandfather was a friend of Marcus Garvey right before he died. So this, but my mother didn't want to teach that. Why you come over here? Nothing. So was I suffering from ADHD? Yeah, no, I was suffering from boredom.
Yeah.
Boredom. I never liked this school. I was good at math and science, and I still didn't like the way they taught us. So it's a powerful thing when you understand. Yes.
All of us suffering from some post-traumatic slavery condition, that's for sure.
Like Joyce.
But my brother, I
Mm-hmm.
want to get into a bit of the actual numbers, and even before I go there, what you have any insight on the, like, for example, eclipses and these things? Because there's an eclipse, I think, a blood moon on the 8th of November.
Well, I would more deal with the 8th other than because I'm not
I would expect.
I'm not an astrologist. I
Right,
don't
right.
claim to be, but I
Understood.
do apply it sometimes
Right,
because but I stay in my lane. I like
right.
people
I
like
understand.
Ra'aku is best. Ra'aku is one of
Mm.
the best out there. Even now, that's a person you get on because he'll explain it and break it down. But from the numbers
Right, cool.
perspective, yeah, brother Ra'aku,
Okay.
he been on brother Rich's show a few times. You know,
Okay.
so when I look at the number 8 on that particular day, I know that in numerology, in as far as the studying of the patterns, I recognize that 8 is one of those not just infinite numbers when infinity numbers on the side, but it's also an ancestral numbers. So even during this blood moon, I
Hmm.
suggest that people connect with their ancestors, work the ancestral energy because that's an old soul energy that people need to look back in order for to move forward. And because 8 is also a number of health, paying attention going into these next year, preparing to go into this, because anytime these blood moons and these eclipses and all these type of things shows up, you got to pay attention for what's about to come in a gradual level going into next year. Always looking because just like the sun comes in and comes out gradually or appears to
That's
come in and
yes.
come out
Yeah,
gradually,
yeah,
you got to
yeah.
pay because people looking at on a micro level, not looking on a macro quantum level from that type of. So when I look at the numbers and those things fall under those type of numbers and energy, I look at it from that perspective because even 7, 8, and 9 in the study of numbers are the old soul energy. So we're coming out of 7, 8, and going into 9. 9 is a number of the higher completion, but 8, because 8 is one of those infinite numbers of health, the gain or loss of health, or the gain of loss of money. Look at the monetary world around the world at that time also as we're going into next year. Because according to Gregorian calendar, we're going into 2023. You know what I'm saying? We're going into the 2023, which is a 7. And 7 is not only a number of reflection, but it's a number of spiritual enlightenment, but also secrets being revealed. So we got to pay attention to the secrets being revealed and what is being shown upon his face, what is coming out. Just like now, like in numerology, there's a thing called the sneak peek months. In numerology, the sneak peek months are usually September, October, November, and December. So what I mean by that is that the sneak peek months are letting you know the indications of what's to come next year because it's
Wow.
revealing the patterns and cycles prior to next year, but it's showing you, even for each and every individual, what theme is going to be for the next year. So once you start seeing all these little secretive things happening, all these little nuances happening about, celebrities and all that start coming out, all the little madness start coming out. Now you're knowing what's
Next
happening
year.
or what's preparing for next year and what we should pay attention to. But because 7 is one of the mental numbers,
It's true.
don't where what I like what Les Brown said years ago. He said, when things go wrong, don't go with them. Because most of these guys are casting illusion in the media. They're casting illusion. And we got to pay attention because 7 is one of the illusionary numbers and they use media to cast. You think these people that run the media don't study this stuff? I got the book on Kabbalah and Gematria that was written by a Jew. I'm just saying,
Mm.
by European Ashkenazi Jew. I got one of the books. So they study this more than we study it. And they apply these frequencies even from their own 5,000-year history. They study Ethiopian calendar history. They study all of it because they had to study all of the superpowers in order for them to stay in power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
They
man.
just like they go to Haiti and study the voodoo. They had to study that's what that whole serpent in the ring was all about. They study and they go into Haiti and go and learning how to do the whole thing and the ritual. They know what they're
Yes.
doing. And I had a Khan priest, may he rest in peace, the Denazulu tribe. They used to send brothers or sisters from the alphabet community to come learn from him. And all he had to do was throw a shell and say, "Nah, I can't teach you." Because he knew what they was coming for. He was throwing his cowrie shells and knew that he was able to read and find out that these people, but then all of a sudden he dies mysteriously.
Mm.
Really? So we gotta look at all these, and I look at all of the systems, honorable priest. I look at all of the systems
Yeah.
because all of the systems are a part of the puzzle. to make us be aware of what's going on and prepare
Of
our
course,
minds. You know what I'm
definitely.
saying? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
you
that's what.
can.
Yeah, so it's very important that we pay attention to what is happening and what's going on, especially in the alignment of these. And if you're in it, and I'm on the premise that if you're in Ethiopia, then you do as the Ethiopians do. You use that number connected to you and then that particular year. Don't use American number no more if you're living in Ethiopia. I know some great Rasta brothers and sisters that live in
I get
Ethiopia.
you. I get
Don't
you. I get
use that. Use that.
you.
If you're in the Asiatic calendar and you're in about the 15,000 year, I've done consultations for people that use the Asiatic calendar, and I don't I have no mind. If you throw me a number, I can
Get
break
you.
it down.
I
I can
get
guide
you.
you.
You see, you say keeping it simple, but it's very
It's
deep.
simple. I know,
It's simple, but it's very, very, very deep.
but the
And
children
even for the,
understand.
yeah, and even as I said, understand, even for the audience,
Yeah,
when you say the alphabet people,
yeah,
3 letters, he's talking
yeah.
about the 3 letters, but
I'll talk about the tree line. I didn't want to say it on your
well, I didn't you're right. Well,
yeah,
if they don't get it yet, we ain't going no further than that. All right.
exactly.
Yes,
Yeah.
positive. No, but honestly, even
Yes.
questions I had prior, even
Mm.
while you were preparing to come on,
Yes.
I asked some questions and you answered them right away. And
Really?
it is funny. Even in the whole realms of, as you say, it's simple,
Mhm.
because even I, just to take a little of your time to explain something,
Yes.
even I, as I would say, look into things mystically,
Yes.
I'm not going to carry it too far, but Antigua, right, is said to have
Mm.
365 beaches.
Beaches, right?
And, Antigua has a sun in its flag, one of those
Yes.
very few countries. And so it's called Sun City. There's a lot of science behind Antigua that links it
Yes.
to the science of the sun. I could go on and on, but I don't want to carry it that far. But
Mhm.
now, the 365 beaches.
Mm.
Now, I've grown up hearing that 365, 365. And of course, that's the cycle of the sun.
Right.
Now, some people query the fact that there are 365 beaches. In fact, they had this campaign trying to count the beaches, and then they argue about what constitutes, a beach, what's really a beach, where the beach starts, where the beach ends. But anyway, my brother, the point I'm making, just quickly, is that I came to the conclusion, I even did a program on it, that,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's not 365 beaches,
Mm-hmm.
the energy of the 365 has stuck with it so long that it has
Very
to
good.
create an impression. And I'm getting that somehow from what you're saying. I mean, we
Exactly.
live in a time. The time is so dominant. This is the year 2022. Whether you believe it's the right year or not,
Right.
you
Right.
can hardly do anything about that. That's you're gonna sign a certificate, you're gonna travel, you got
Exactly.
to write what they say to write. You put your own here and see what they tell you. So it
Uh-huh.
has already created this energy. And I get it. I get it. So
Exactly.
so 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 even when you add the 2 and the 3 and the other 2 and you get the 7, 2023,
Mm-hmm.
it fits in the time. And then when you said, well, if you're in the next country, because
Mm-hmm.
that country has created that energy around it,
Right.
and
Exactly.
it repeats itself in speech and in culture, it's
Exactly.
deep. So
Exactly.
it's
And but
simple, but it's deep.
you got to remember though that the Jewish community still go by their calendar inside their synagogue.
Yes.
So they give unto the Lord what is the Lord and give unto Caesar what is Caesar. But when
Caesar,
they come out to
Caesar.
go work and do them thing, they do their thing. They still
They
got
do
to
their
apply
thing.
by that calendar. They understand giving unto the Lord what is the Lord and giving unto Caesar what is Caesar's. They
So
understand
so
that
so so
balance.
so then we as Africans, should we also connect ourselves to some ancient calendar of Africa, whatever it be? Like even
Yes.
when we approach you then.
Yeah,
Let's just
I
say
suggest you do.
let's say I did some ancestral research and I know, man, I'm Yoruba, or
Mm.
at least majority. When I come to you to do a consultation, should I say, hey, listen, my brother, I was born the 2nd of January, but the Yoruba thing say I was born so and so, and maybe a double reading? I'm just
Mm-hmm.
asking because I'm learning
I
new.
well,
And in
if you bring that to me, then I just use the comparison because you can
comparison,
compare now and make the connection. You understand?
oh, right,
Because
right, that's true.
you don't want to negate the energy that you was born under, that your mother already you signed the birth certificate and whatever that you came out of. You know what I'm saying? You always want to respect and honor thy mother and thy father, that thy days may be long. But still show the love for research and digging deep. Like I said, I've done certain readings for people that came with 105,000 Asiatic calendar. And it came out to a similar results, but it just showed him that how he can use it for himself, because I'm on the premise, different than most numerologists, that any number that is connected to you, you can activate it and maximize it if you're willing to put in the work. Because remember, numbers came through us to guide us, not to control us. Here to control you. Just like the GPS. How many people you know GPS throughout the Caribbean right now? But when we never used to drive with GPS, it's like we didn't know the Caribbeans. We knew how to drive throughout the Caribbean without the GPS. But now you using the GPS because what? You want to hear it or be confirmed by some sound. Turn left, turn right. You're right up the gully. Go right. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? I knew my way to Montego Bay from Jamaica, from Spanish Town. Man. I didn't need a GPS then. Why am I using a GPS now? Because sometimes it's confirmation, but we've become too acceptance of the outside influences instead of going back within or paying attention to nature and the stars again. That's what we lost. Because when I go in the country, I don't see no lights. When I'm in the country in Portia and all in place down Jamaica, I don't see no lights. We walking the streets, no lights on the streets, but yet we walking through star and moonlight, getting to where we gotta go. But because we live here and we live in these places that are now becoming more modernized, we sometimes have to use the tools to remind us of what we have to do. And that's all numbers and astrology and all this stuff, to remind us. It's about the remembrance, the recalling, and after you recall and remember, then you reassess and realign yourself. Because I still do my meditation. I still do my prayers. I still do the things to activate and continue to connect, because you have to use all the armors of God. You have to use all the armors, whether you call it God, Jah, Allah, you got to use all the armor, because this is a war that you have to be fully protected, spiritually as well as physically. You understand?
Of course, my lord. Positive. Well, my lord, what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask the audience there, those we have in the chat as well. We're going to, in the few moments you may have with us, we have a few more minutes. I'm going to be the first, and then I'll bring to you the Honorable Empress Earth Day. But for me, the 2nd of January, I gave you this already, and I remember for sure you clearly told me I'm a person that should be writing books. I never forget that part of it. 2nd of January. You're not necessarily interested in the year, are you?
I mean, I could use the year, but what happened is that in another system of numerology called, and I study multiple systems for a reason to get the full picture. True. But in the cosmic numerology, which was written by somebody that worked for NASA, which is interesting. That his interpretation of numbers. The cosmic numerology, your alignment number is what we call a 3, because the 1 plus the 2 equals 3. So why I said writing, but any form of expression, whether it's music, writing, art, and speaking like you're doing on your show, that's all a form of the 3 energy. But also because you're born on the 2nd, that deals with the healing aspect, the compassionate aspect, the need to be compassionate and find balance, especially when it deals with people and the human element, because the number 2 sometimes go through extremities with relationship, but and they have to always protect themselves from energy vampires, people and avoid second guessing themselves. As you know, once you understand that number 2, because that 2 energy, and it also rules the stomach. So you got the two rules the stomach. So you also have to be very careful of how you eat and who you eat from. You understand? Yeah.
I give thanks. Well, I think I have that one covered. I appreciate love that. So, but let me ask you, does it, I see some dates coming up already, but let me ask you, male, female, does the numbers have any difference? So if, let's just say I was a female then.
It does have a different, because the numbers also have a masculine and feminine gender. According to the studies of patterns, we recognize that the earth energy and the water energy are the intuitive or the grounding energy that is considered or called feminine over the years of studying patterns.
Yes.
That's all it is. Like, you know, like you could talk about different planets and different signs being called that. Over the studies of these patterns and cycles, they realized that it was much stronger for the male energy or the masculine energy and the feminine. That's why they call certain signs fire signs and air sign, which they would call the masculine. They have fire numbers and air numbers. They have water numbers and earth numbers in numerology. That's why they can connect the numbers to the signs also, the zodiac signs. So if you was a female, it probably would be same, but if you was a female, it would probably be the same, but she would probably be more sensitive, more insensitive, and especially sensitive to relationship issues. Because sometimes, again, from both perspectives, y'all go through relationship handling, but men handle it a little different than the women. Nowadays, the men are a little bit more sensitive nowadays, so we don't know what's going on. So we got to pay attention, because right now we're in a whole nother sensitive cycle right now. The 2000s are the years of sensitivity. And I think as much as people think that we're in the age of Aquarius, we're really tipping the age of Aquarius. Really tipping the age of Aquarius that I have, due to my studies. We're really tipping, but again, quantum, micro, and macro. We still got age of Aquarius could be still, what, 60 years in or 70 years in. But we're not looking, you know, we're looking at it from that macro perspective, or are we looking at a micro perspective? We are looking at it a more micro perspective, because that 70 year could be just 40% or, you know, 45% in Aquarius, you know what I'm saying? So we also got to pay attention to that energy also, because we are still most connected to the planets and what happens in the universe. That's why when the moon is felt to be closer to the earth, we know what happens to the waves. Have you ever examined the waves in Antigua when the moon is really out there? You see what's happening, right?
Definitely.
I've examined in the Caribbean. I've examined it right in Florida. I've examined it. So I know that this thing is something, there's something real about this thing. It's not, and that our ancestors took the time out and passed it down from generation to generation, to even when the Greeks and the freaks and the Romans picked it up. Some of them, they killed for it. So yeah, but with your number, if you added the year, there's some more, of course, there's some more stuff. But
well, there's so many numbers coming up here. So let me and of course, Baba, every time fire is blessing you, Ben. So give thanks.
Baba, every time fire, and born July 7th. That's my boy.
Yeah, man. Every time fire, every single time, man. Oh, but that's not the same time your grandmother
she born the same day, July 7th. That's why I always remember his birthday, because she's born the same day.
Yes. So okay, so we have Yomi Jose. That's the 7th of May. Yomi Jose is male. Any specific?
His name is May 7th. May 7th is his birthday?
Yes.
Now, what's interesting, one thing says about Yomi, he born the same day as my son, one of my sons. And one thing, they love to have fun and enjoy themselves, but they need trusted people around them. Your 7 is always an indication that you need to reflect, you need to meditate and manifest. Your alignment number, when you add the 7 plus the 5, equals 12. That says you need to speak up in a timely fashion and be willing to be jovial and optimistic in anything that you do in your life, in order for you to make it. Remember, I'm a numerator. I want you to motivate yourself. I'm not about reading people. I'm really about showing you that your numbers can work for you, because 7s like to be to themselves a lot. When they're ready to be in their own headspace, they need to be in their own quiet space, doing their own meditation, whether they're listening to good music or motivational speakers, they need to do that. And again, 7s have to protect their mind. That's why I always tell people born under the 4, 7, 8, 5, or 3, protect your mind. 5 and 3 are the lesser on the chart, because 5 and 3 are supposed to be optimistic numbers. That's why his alignment numbers are 12, which adds up to a 3, which deals with optimism and being jovial. Listening to comedy, you might enjoy a good comedy show or a good comedy movie to have fun and all that stuff. Good dancer, if he get on that dance floor, he probably could dance, but there's a certain time when he needs to be himself, and he probably disappears into his own room and just keeps his peace. You know what I'm saying? Ask them if that's right.
Yes, well, you can get that. Honestly, that sounds a lot like me too. I like my space plenty, my heavens too.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're already. I mean, come on now. You look look what are you learning? Look what also your culture. It also takes on a lot of things too. Big up to Antigua because I used to go there to Jolly Beach years ago, and I did I actually emceed a show on Antigua also at Jolly Beach while me and Prince Kalunda. I was there with Crow and all of them guys there. We had Mr. Bird. I met the Prime Minister of that time, Mr. Bird.
Yes. I remember hear you saying that. We let me just do this quickly. We have a 5th of January, Black Saucy. Black Saucy and Virtuous Valuables. Them that's not like 2 women. Eh? You have the 5th of January and the 8th of July, just so kind of.
And the 8th of July?
Yeah, 5th of January and the 8th
of July. Well, people born on the 5th of January usually like to travel. They need to travel, and one thing about people born under the number 5 people who deals with them have to let them be free to be themselves. Don't try to control them. They will run. They will try to get away because they need freedom to be who they are, what they are, and what they want to do. Very brilliant people, the number 5. Fives that are people that are connected to that number 5 do some real great things in life if they're really turned up, and especially because you're born under the sign of misnomer Capricorn. You're born under the sign of Capricorn. You'll make it happen. Capricorn in numerology is connected to the number 8. So y'all like to make things happen. You're not just going to sit around and not do something. You got to make things happen. So both of y'all are born under that same energy of the Capricorn. It's just that she has the 5 and her alignment numbers are 6. So something that she had to forgive. If it's a woman, there's something that you need to forgive, let go, and grow, especially when it deals with family, whether it's mom or dad's side. Let it go so you can grow to be your very best, especially as a healer and a traveling healer, something to move around and do what you're supposed to do with people, because that 5 is a number of communication, just like the 3, but the 5 is another number of communication, poetry, writing, the need to enjoy life to its fullest without being limited. That's why 5 is known as the freedom number. Go ahead. And the other one was July 8th, right?
8, yeah. But I like what you said there. 5 is a freedom number for real. Yeah. But anyway, you go ahead. Interesting. Because even if you notice, in Ethiopia, their liberation day is the 5th of May, 5th month and the 5th day.
Exactly.
Freedom.
Exactly. It is the liberation. But it's interesting that the new year is September 11th, which is a spiritual number. The master number 11 is a spiritual teacher, spiritual guide, spiritual healing number. But Ethiopia had to be very careful of deception, people that deceive them. Like people that come in to try to infiltrate their land, because they are the oldest sovereignty. So they had to be careful. All of England, Mussolini, all of them tried to infiltrate that, and they didn't do it. So, because of a spiritual protection over Ethiopia also. You know what I'm saying? And people don't realize that Ethiopia, if they had to meet with any kings or queens anywhere else, Ethiopia stays at the head of the table, period. Because they're the oldest sovereignty. It's true. But let's get to that July.
So July the 8th, yes.
Yeah. Let me give it because I gotta get out of here by at least 7 o'clock. So I'll give you that.
Yes, I have you covered.
Yeah. So people born on the 8th, again, is the old soul energy. So anything dealing with the 8 energy, even in the signs, that's why, like I said, Capricorn is connected to the 8, but that person is born on the 8. 8 always need to understand energy as far as money, property, and that type of stuff. They need to learn to discipline themselves to do that. And because the alignment numbers are 15, they need to be able to balance their worlds of the spiritual and the physical. You need to find balance, because the physical works with the spiritual and the spiritual works with the physical. You just got to find balance. And the 8 is a number of manifestation, but the 8 is also the number of assets and liabilities. Recognizing assets and liabilities in every facet of your life. Always recognize that. That is your alignment, to recognize assets and be a guide to people, but don't always tell people. You don't always have to tell people what they're supposed to do, but ask them the questions that will pull it out of them. You got to ask them the questions, because not everybody solicits any information and want to be guided. So just like, the old saying where them used to say, to give a man a fish, he'll only eat for a day, but if you teach him how to fish, they'll eat for a whole. That person has to learn to teach them how to fish so they can eat for themselves, because they attract people that need help and healing a lot.
True.
Yeah.
We have Kofi here. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Kofi has the 20th of November.
November 20th.
November 20th.
Yeah, 20th of November. I know. What's so interesting about that, in numerology, that 20 is a very powerful number in the aspect that, just like the master numbers, you got 11, 22, people are born under those numbers. 20, I have called them the master number potential, because anytime 0 follows any number, it adds protection and potential over them. They have to be very careful of how they invite people to their life, be careful of energy vampires. And also, being that you're born on the 2nd, you have to be careful of energy vampires too. So 2s in general has to be careful, but this one with the 0 behind it, it comes with extremities. It's just like when you go to a bank, if the zeros is before the 2, that means you're minus the money. But zeros behind the 2, that's where the money dead at.
More money going.
More money, So
Wow.
20 people born on the 20th. And what I've known in history and following a lot of our modern history with people born on the 20th, they have become millionaires. The people like, of course, the great what's his name, Sidney Poitier, born on the 20th of February. People like, of course, KRS-One, born on August 20th. People like Luciano, the reggae artist, on October 20th. People like Biden is born November 20th.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the 20, if they because the 20 in compound numerology is the number of awareness and some great purpose that you're supposed to do, you just have to be careful of who you invite and allow in your space, and just move with your most intuitive powers ever, because all of us have intuition. It's just some people have it a little bit more because with them, especially connected to the numbers, but all of us can use it, but we just have to learn to tap into it and make it and use it for the benefits of moving forward, because numerology is just here to confirm. It's not here to take away what you're supposed to do. You just got to confirm and make you be better in what you do. Sorry.
All right, my Lord, give thanks. So give let me, before I go there, the brother Yomi says that you're more than right, my Lord. Give thanks. I spent most of my time alone, some good organic herbs, and my chalice being your midnight. In Zion. Difficult to find trustworthy people, so do something. And they say here, with the plants instead. Give thanks.
You trust it. Yeah, learn trust, because you got to tap into them plants, man. Sometimes those plants have something to say. I hug trees; they have something to say.
Yeah, you can learn a lot of things from the flowers.
Exactly.
Let me just double up here, 17th and 18th of July.
17th and 18th of July.
Yeah.
Okay. When you're dealing with the 18 now.
And then I'll deal with this. But I just knocked the two of them together so we can.
Yeah, no. That's cool. So let's see, 17 and 18 of July. When you deal with that, let's deal with the 18.
Okay.
Your alignment numbers are 25. When you add the 7 plus the 18, that's what we call the alignment number. Some people call it the pinnacle. Some people call it the achievement. Some people call it, a pinnacle number. The 25 in numerology is one of the numbers that deals with observation, learning to observe more than you talk to people, because people born on the 18th, July 18th, they pinpoint and see through a lot of people's crap. Your intuition always tell you who they are. But because 25 is a number of compassion and freedom, anything you do in order for you to manifest the best in your spiritual life, you have to have compassion about what you want to do. You want to be free your mind and be fearless, because everything you want is on the other side of fear. And because you have the 18 that's there, which is a personal number, the 1 and 8, and it can be very karmic numbers, but remember, karma means cause and effect. It's not negative. It's not negative. It's not just positive. You put out the good karma, you get back the good karma. And because it adds 1 and 8 adds up to the number 9, it says, finish what you start. Stop overthinking and second guessing yourself and your abilities and your talents. Your thoughts, you pick up a lot of ideas, but you need to write them down and put them to work. and stop. And I tell people, use your personal day. Your personal day is the day you was born. Use the number 18 and say, look, I'm going to do this in 18 days, 18 weeks, 18 months. The 18th of every month, I'm going to manifest something. Just like you can use the 2nd of every month, I'm going to manifest something. That person born on the 8th of every month, I'm going to manifest something. That's your GPS. Use it. It's yours. You grew up with it all your life. Use it. We're just using it to celebrate a birthday and have a party and go to dance and all that. Or meditate, like some of the prophets meditated. You don't have a good time, enjoy. Now the 17th now in compound numerology, the 17th is called what we call the legacy leaving number. So anytime that 1 and 7 and 8, it deals with creativity, it deals with spirituality, but it adds up to the number 8. Anything you do, you have to leave your name here on the planet.
Marcus Garvey there, man.
He's born August 17th. You understand? But you got Muhammad Ali born January 17th. Michelle Obama born 17th of January. So is Michael Jordan's born February 17th. So you start seeing all these numbers, and that's how I study it. I see the patterns, celebrities and families and people around me. So that 17 you gotta be serious about. And because your alignment number 7 plus 17 equals 24, the 2-4 equals 6. Paying attention to your health is very important. Finding balance in whatever you do is very important, and being disciplined, because not only is 2, 4, and 6 a disciplinary number of balance and healing and help and family, but also it's a discipline. That 17, which is an 8, is also a disciplinary number of legality, paying attention to legal needs, making sure that everything that you do as far as business-wise is all right and exact. Dot every I, cross every T. That's that 17.
Beautiful. Family, listen. The good brother, I want to make sure the brother exits on time. I see there's so many dates coming up here. But I know you're accustomed to this, eh? So
yes, I am.
and a lot of people get left out.
I could do 2 more. At least let me do 2 more.
Okay. Well. Give the Honorable Empress Naya. 4th of October.
October what?
4th of October.
Oh, yes. Interesting, my dear Naya. When you add that number together, because that adds up to a 14. 14s are very good at dealing with crowds of people. But again, because it adds up to the 5, don't be afraid. Because sometimes being a number 4, being on the 4th, you overthink a lot. Stop overthinking. We all think too much for, especially if it's good for you. If it's good for you and your family, just do it. Stop running from it. People born on the 4th have done some great things. Beyonce born on the 4th. Jay-Z born on the 4th. Billy Carson born on the 4th. You know what I'm saying? People are doing some great things under that 4, but 4 sometimes, because it's one of the mental numbers, they have to protect their minds a little bit more by working hard, because they love to work hard. Once you give some 4 some work, they'll put it to work, because 4 is the number of foundation, laying the 4 corners of the earth, the four elements of the wind, and the 4 seasons, all of that. But it's about laying a foundation in whatever you do, and having the wherewithal to free your mind to accomplish it. Because you're born under the sign of Libra, which is dealing with the scale, you got to just always find balance. And Libra in numerology is connected to the number 6. Again, the number of balance, harmony, truth, justice, reciprocity, and forgiveness. So forgive, let go, and grow, because you've held a lot in your mind since you was young. Things has happened. You don't have, it don't fool me. Not when I look at numbers. That don't fool me. You just have to let it go and grow.
Yes, my God, that's
Priestess Naya.
Give thanks, man. That's a beautiful vibe. I'm gonna actually seal this up with my 2 young ones. They haven't passed a certain age yet to say, well, they one is my daughter at the age of 15. I'll give the age everything, man. So we're talking about the 12th of February, and my son being the 21st of September.
Oh, okay. Well, first and foremost, let's deal with the 12th.
Yeah, he's younger than her.
Okay. You gave her first. So she would do well, and moving forward is creative writing. Both of them actually will do well with creative writing. It's just that the one leads the two, and the two leads the one in this one. You know, with your son, and the two leads the one, but the one leads the two. I'll tell the parents, do not. Oh, she likes music. She likes to enjoy herself. She's very energetic. Both of them have a certain amount of energy to themselves. But the one born on the 2/12, that is, again, that 14 shows up. They love their freedom to do what they want to do, and they have a mind of their own. Just clear attention to that. But always remember there still needs a little discipline and structure with people with that alignment number, because people with her alignment have to be very careful of the friends they choose, because they can lead them down addiction. I got to tell that to children, because sometimes parents drop the ball and forget. That can lead down to addiction, whether it's marijuana or whatever. That's their business when they grow up. But you got to understand that some of these they might not be you and could handle that stuff, but they can get caught into a deeper addiction that can lead to another gateway. You got to be mindful with it. The one on the 21st now, the 21st of September, the one on the 21st of September. What's so interesting about that, 21 in numerology is one of the crowns of the Magi. It's called the crown of the Magi. It's called the universe number. But they go through some struggles first, and that don't kill them, make them stronger. And if they allow themselves to express themselves in a compassionate and creative way without getting themselves in trouble, because both 12 and 21 could get themselves in trouble, because sometimes they say what they mean and mean what they say. Yes, they just do what they do. Yes. But that particular child, he has to advancement, and all. He will get the crown as long as he's willing to go through the rigmarole of life and stay focused and finish what he starts, and finish the job, and be willing to excel, especially through writing, especially through art. He'll be a very good oratory skill. He'd be very good at speaking if he put it. And she too. But I'm looking at people born on the 21st, especially people like Usain Bolt was born on the 21st. Umar Johnson was born on the 21st. Samuel Jackson was born on the 21st. You see, I could point out, and Jordan Peele was born on the 21st. You know what I'm saying? So once you start pointing out and seeing these different things going on with people born under that number, it can be very helpful that they learn how to activate their creative energy. And people born on the 12, like Dick Gregory was born on the 12, Bill Cosby was born on the 12. People that they know how to speak, they know how to get before the audience, make people laugh. They need to always be jovial. Both of them need to be happy, because both of their numbers equate to the number 3 at the end of the day. That need to be happy. You got to keep them happy. Good comedy show, good things that keep them laughing. They need to laugh.
I hear you. Yeah, well, no, you really have it. Them is Sanford and Son fans. You hit it on the head.
Bless up, my brother. But thank you very much for allowing me to come on.
So your books, I know you're running it, but your books again, and how they can get your books as well, and how they can contact you. Just give us one more time, and we will repeat it.
Yes, well, they can go to my link tree at King Simon. It's linktree / King Simon the Numerovator. That's NUMEROVATOR, the Numerovator. Or they could just go to my IG and it'll take you straight to my link tree. My IG is King Simon Productions with an S at the end of production. King Simon Productions. That is my IG, and it'll take you to all my links to my YouTube channel and all that. Matter of fact, later on at 9 o'clock, I'm interviewing at 9 o'clock my time. I'm interviewing KT, the Arch Degree, one of the stepsons of Dr. Sebi, because they're doing a tribute to Dr. Sebi out here in Atlanta. And so I'm going to have him, Mr. G, and his wife on at approximately 9 o'clock my time, Eastern Standard Time. I don't know, what time is it over there in Antigua right now?
So we are all different from you. So it's just about 8 o'clock now.
Okay, it's about 8 o'clock. Yeah. So I'm definitely we're gonna have an interview on my channel at King Simon Presents on YouTube. King Simon Presents.
And that's 8 o'clock your time.
That's at 9 o'clock my time, 8 o'clock your time. Right.
Yeah, I think so, something like that. Anyway, we'll figure it out. My brother,
bless up all the time, brother.
And I will exit you out here. Thanks again for the strength.
Thank
and
you.
all
Thank you.
blessings to you. Yes, one love. Yes, that's what you were saying. Hey, give thanks to the good brother King Simon, just coming in and yeah, giving us a joy. Of course, family, you have to respect the brother's time. I'm very sorry that we could not touch each and every one. I'm sure there are those who would have heard their Earth Day number and didn't even ask to hear anything. You just happened to be born on one of the days that was asked, more than likely. So I know we reached more than who we thought we reached. So I'm happy for that as well. Give thanks, family, for the life giver and the keeper of life. I'm just going to remind you to join me tomorrow evening, Radio Anu. In fact, we should be going over to Radio Anu right now. You don't know how to get there. It's Priest Isaac Institute, priestisaacinstitute.com, Radio Anu for sure. And again, give thanks for all those who part of the Patreon's Day. And remember the Tiger's Nest tomorrow evening, the Tiger's Nest. I'm talking about at 7 p.m. sharp. Remember, Youth University, that is tomorrow afternoon, 4 p.m. Youth University on Radio Anu with the Honorable Princess Acacia Menin and the Honorable Prince Alamase. Everything that the big man said here concerning them is right on target and right, well, perfectly on target again. So you should even contact the good brother, that's brother King Simon. I know for sure his consultations are very inexpensive. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I think last time I was looking through some of his information, it was like $1 a minute or some kind of little thing like that. I'm serious. You spend like 5 minutes with the man, $5. Come on. If that is the case, even if that's not the case, because it's obvious that the knowledge is worth a lot as such, it's nutritious information, I like to say. So still contact him, get a quote on exactly what you need to do, and spend some time spend some time with the wisdom that he has, obviously in the mystic realm. Yeah. Well, give thanks again, family. Looking forward to your present tomorrow evening. Tiger's Nest. Give thanks continually. Holy Manuel Eyes, Lassie Jah, Rastafari, life giver and the keeper of life. I love to eat.